he is in such good form. He got second place at PGL up against Rafa, and I feel like it's going to be hard to beat him for clawz.
No, he looked wild, and you know, I'm in full agreement with you. I don't think we saw the best from clawz so far, but he is in the top 8 for a reason, so I think he's going to come out all guns blazing. We have got the next pick from clawz. He does indeed love that champion. There's been a nerf, as they discussed on the desk, to Nyx, but that's not going to deter him from picking her.
I'll take over for you.
Yeah,
I think Aizen will be Cooler's last pick in this one, since Visor's not going to be there anymore. Slash obviously not going to be something he's worried about.
The suspense.
There we go.
There we go.
I actually don't know what clawz. I mean, I want to assume it's going to be Aizen, or Ranger was the second choice, but obviously with him picking it in, we do now know what it's going to be. And on this, you know, these picks of the maps we do have and the bans we do have as well, I feel like the Visor ban out of clawz is just so much more effective than the Slash ban against clawz out of Cooler, since you can't play Slash on every map, but you can play Visor on every map.
Yeah, absolutely. And Cooler's incredibly effective with Visor. He can do a lot of damage with it, very defensively strong with that champion. But let's see, Jason, we move into our last quarterfinal of the day. Ruins of Sarnath here, where Maestro's clawz and NMD's Cooler are going to enter battle. Let's see which champions we will get confronting each other at the beginning. We do have a Nyx versus Galena. Always exciting to see clawz's Nyx, actually. By far his favorite champion. And he's just somehow able to be so aggressive with her, even despite any kind of patches and changes to her. He's got a fantastic style of this champion. But Cooler goes through the teleporter. Going to lose that totem as clawz bypasses over teleporter through to that lower area.
One thing clawz does so well with Nyx is the fact that he knows her limits, like to every extreme. He knows the ins and outs of her, and he knows exactly like what situations he can fight from and what situations he has to back away from. He also knows like the priority of items he needs and weapons he needs. And he's very respectful of rail on her as well, because he realizes how squishy she actually is if you do get railed up once without any full natural armor. And Cooler already starting off the brain game here, being very cautious around that corner.
I wonder what kind of style we're going to get throughout the series from Cooler, because it felt like yesterday against the Hang, he was really aggressive. We were seeing a lot of proactive plays from him. I think he was feeling his aim, and he was just, the effect he was having was unreal. At the moment, we've had only a minute of experience watching him. It does feel like he's a little bit more conserved.
Typical Cooler style.
At peace. But yeah,
Cool.
exactly. He is known for this sort of passive defensive play. But if he just turns up the heat, things could change a lot. Maybe this is just a sign of respect to clawz as a name player.
And he has he has everything he needs. He has the weapons, he has a totem up, he has heavy coming in a second or two. He's able to actually pick up the heavy and keep clawz down here for some time. But clawz is still gonna have the ghost walk. Not gonna be popped just yet. He's gonna have to go for it soon though. There it is. Gonna be used off, and Cooler has to get around this corner in time and hope that that rail won't be directly behind him. But speaking of rail, there it is. clawz catches him. And that's the first frag going the young Belarusian's way.
There was a 25 health bubble just to his left. He doesn't go for it. We've got a rocket to rail combo. That's nice shots by clawz. He's going to be able to recover with the light armor as well. There is going to be heavy armor in a moment. He's not opting to go down for it. Slightly wall jumps backwards, but all is good. And, you know, maybe Cooler's giving respect as well. He does eventually move down past the eye, and he will collect heavy. And clawz might get a nasty surprise now. Doesn't see that Cooler's gone below him. There's a rocket, mid-air doesn't hit, and the ghost wall comes out right after. Bosley looking for the perforation. Oh, the rail in the air. Very well prepared, even with that sort of small delay after coming out of ghost wall.
What was Cooler's health? Could he have survived that if he didn't rocket damage himself?
It was really on the line. I think he was around at 80 there.
Oh, that's rough for Cooler, but great job by clawz to open things up strong. He doesn't have that ghost walk up as he backs away into some hourglasses and some more in towards heavy, and perfectly times it so he can pick up this item. Now Cooler's trapped down here. Cooler's, I think, a little bit flustered there, and clawz will take round one.
Yeah, very decent from clawz. The fights were well placed. We saw Cooler going very defensive at the start. Maybe he would rather opt for something a bit more proactive, as clawz had all the space on the map that he needed to get into a fight. And we saw he just, all right, here's a chance, I'll take it.
Here we go into our second round. clawz able to pick up the heavy off the back. Cooler delaying the mega, as you can see, by about 5 seconds of time. So if there's a chance, you can transition between the two. And clawz actually might be able to catch Cooler here over towards teleport. He's actually spotting him out towards LG. He doesn't hit that first rail. Just Cooler's able to pick up that much needed weapon for him.
There's a just going to be a re-engagement from clawz. He's hit a lot of LG totem there.
Would have killed him here, but it was very close.
Just shakes his fists at it.
I mean, he has one of those at home.
That's true. He's just showing off. Oh, we've got mega health for clawz. He still kept a hold of that Ghost Walk.
He's so lucky that rail missed too, because if it hit, he would have had to have used Ghost Walk if Cooler got any sort of aggression, which means he would be very susceptible to the next power-ups.
He uses the Ghost Walk.
Oh, that's great timing.
He's up there. Oh no, he just goes to the top and explodes himself. That means that Cooler's got an advantage in this round. We have Heavy very soon. Cooler looking to push it a bit. Good entry rail, but he has to respect clawz over there, even when he's only got the starting machine gun. It's time to back away. There is mega health soon, but he looks like he's going to push in. He's still got a stack advantage. Gotta get the frag there while he has no extra weaponry. Cooler, not a very good first round, but he's come back fighting really hard.
Still controlling the weapons, picks the rim right before clawz gets there. And that's going to be over for that round for Cooler. That was just well done. As you mentioned, like he just rushed him when he only had the starting machine gun. Again, he catches him on the respawn towards Jay's spot and then stops him from picking up the rail in the nick of time to make sure he has a full advantage.
I think that teleporter exit above the bounce pad by his super shotgun. I know clawz killed himself there, but he was going to go down anyway.
Yeah. No real chance he's going to survive that one. And Cooler switching things up with the Galena start here.
And clawz, who's pushing over by the light armor. He hasn't got any armor yet.
I like the Galena play, by the way, just for the fact that if you do get a big fight, you can put down the totem when the enemy ghost walks and have a chance to actually survive any sort of damage coming out of the ghost walk. But unfortunately for Cooler, he's going to lose the Galena right there. Didn't have his totem up since he used it on spawn. And I feel like a lot of people do that actually when it comes to duel, using that totem right away because obviously you want to stack them up. But the downside is if you get rushed, if you get caught, you got nothing to heal yourself with.
It was really nice rockets from clawz. We know Cooler so well for how well he can dodge. Not just dodging like LG and rails, but how he goes up against the rockets too. But clawz is hitting everything. Cooler though, being proactive, knows there's no ghost walk, but there's about a full second where he hit nothing and runs back into a rocket. clawz with a 2-frag advantage in round 3. There's going to be Heavy in a short moment. He is looking good to convert into putting himself onto map point.
Cooler though does have a massive stack. Sentry turret to put up for a little bit of time, but again, that ghost walk, as you mentioned before, could be so crucial for clawz as he hits the first drill, hits the second. He's looking for the third. He won't. Oh my God! What a shot!
That was phenomenal. Well played by clawz there. Even jumping on top of the sort of the high-end scenery over the arches. That was fantastic, clawz. You know, he made up. You thought maybe would he get slightly frustrated at the self-kill earlier, but nope, doesn't seem to be thinking about it whatsoever.
I'm getting slightly frustrated that I voted against him right now.
He's hitting 72% rail. Just saying.
8 out of 11 shots. That's...
Yeah.
That is not bad at all.
Sample size is still fairly decent, actually. Okay, rocket not connecting yet, shipping away from Cooler. It does mean one of the rockets eventually, but it's only natural health stack for clawz. It's a brilliant rail from Cooler. He surely wants to push in for another. He's got a totem down. He sees that the totem gets blown up while clawz is in Ghost Walk. Maybe giving him a small amount of information, but he has to wave goodbye to the mega health. Still, though, it's going to be a good time for Cooler to push in and try and capitalize.
Yeah, clawz has to play defensive now for the next 30 seconds.
It's a great position, actually, from Cooler, but it's a shame he doesn't stay there.
Nice little jump up too, just to give a slight little peek in case he was waiting over towards that mini staircase. And again, those hourglass is going to be a major focus here. About 10 seconds left to go, and he should be able to have the window of opportunity closed for Cooler.
Is Cooler going to drop it? Oh, very quick rail. clawz goes through the teleporter exit. Both major items are up. Cooler does go for the mega health instead. Neither will connect. clawz will get a bit of breathing room. This isn't a terrible stack for Nyx, however, he's taken a lot of LG damage, yet to retaliate at all. That Ghost Walk, he's gonna have his finger on the trigger, and he allows Cooler to go for the rail. It looked like he was going for some wall jump play to maybe escape, but that looked very optimistic from him.
I think he overestimates the amount of damage he has done to Cooler, and he will eventually rush straight into his death here, as Cooler now has 2 frags to the round. Mega's gonna be up, but it looks like he will just be going for Heavy. clawz still needs to worry about weapons, and Cooler, he's kind of almost doing a sort of camp towards this rail position to keep this away from clawz.
Really wants to punish that shot.
No LG, no rail, like, you pretty much just shut clawz out.
That's a really rough position for clawz. He wants to go in for the lightning gun. Cooler punishes completely, and this map is going back and forth, back and forth. And we find ourselves on a tiebreak, just in the first map of the series.
Yeah. I really love the way Cooler's playing too. Like, if you're denying the weapons, the two most prolific weapons we know clawz to use, the LG and the rail, then what is clawz going to be able to do? He's got to depend on those rockets, and as we've seen, we've already seen him, you know, self-kill once on accident. Cooler's doing, he's just being so smart about this, living up to the big brain.
Yeah, there's all not far away from a 10-second differential between Mega Health and the Heavy. That's an excellent shot from Cooler. He's now going to get himself the lightning gun. Going to have an inkling that, okay, well, now he knows everything, and he's seen the Ghost Walk being activated. He should be able to control both major items now. I really want to see what kind of route he takes over to Mega Health. And clawz actually confronts him?
He has time to get to Mega 2. Cooler has a giant window to play for, and clawz, unfortunately, does get caught in the transition from Nail to Mega. And now Cooler, I would imagine he's going to go straight for the control towards LG, straight for the control towards Rail as well. He's going for the chase now. clawz does have the LG, but he doesn't have really a stack to work with here. And Cooler now is one frag away from getting his first map.
I feel like clawz has been very predictable going to that LG area. We know his LG is so good, but he's going to go there once again. He orbs through. He hits the rail, though. That was a clutch shot that he needed. So I feel overall, Cooler's had a brilliant read on clawz.
He has. I feel like Cooler has been playing hands down the better Quake so far in the series, but you can never count out some of these miracle shots that clawz has been able to hit. Problem is, he needs another frag here now to close this gap. But they do obviously have time to play with here, and he's gonna need some armor. He does have the LG, does have the rails, so Cooler's not be able to keep those weaponry away from him.
Both big items up at the same time. Rails miss for the two of them. Still, looks like they're challenging each other a little bit. Some shoulder peeks from the two. Cooler has that lower angle, but again, I see a few misses from the two players. Unfortunately, we see the accuracy go down a bit from clawz, but it's still 52%. That's still fantastic. That's basically what we were seeing Avik hitting before. And he was hitting crazy well.
clawz almost locking himself into the spot, but looks like Cooler's not going to go this route to actually control this position. Both items, about a 2-second window between the two, so I'd imagine it'd be very difficult for either of them to pick up both, unless we see a challenge towards either one. And clawz missing that jump. I think he's going to go down towards Heavy. It hits a great rocket here, keeps him off it, goes in with the Dire to pick up the Heavy. But the thing is, he's now taking some damage from the rockets. Cooler uses his own orb and does eventually take it, but the rail out of clawz does connect. But can he get there in time to stop him from picking up Mega? Looks like he won't be able to.
It was clawz who was fighting for a long time to get back in control. He'd managed to do that, but suddenly Cooler hits a fantastically important rail. clawz is railable right now. He looks for that reaction shot. He needs a health bubble or something. Honestly, he really needs that Dire back up. That extra mobility is so useful. clawz walks into LG. This could be the end of him. And it looks like Cooler is going to take the first map and stretch his limbs a bit and prepare himself for Corrupted Keep. Very close first map though, Jason.
Hey, a little smile out of Cooler. Feeling pretty happy about that. I will say this though, even though Cooler did win the map, clawz is looking much better today in duel than he has looked previously. In twos, he looked. I feel like him and Zron just certainly didn't step up to the level we know they can play individually. And even in duel, he's a little bit rusty. But either way, he stepped up today and he's playing well.
No, 100%. And Cooler. I mean, actually, one point I want to make is it's hard to really create drama about it, but these are two players which get great satisfaction from beating each other.
Yeah, I mean,
there's some hard bragging rights at stake right now. It's not even to do with what's at stake in the tournament. It's outside of the game. It's they really, really, really want to win.
There's definitely a history between the two players dating back to even 2017. The Italian Open is the one that sticks out to me when they were played. But yeah, it's more than just winning the match. It's beating that player. Yeah. It's being up against, I almost want to say rivals at this rate between the two, and having the satisfaction of beating them in such a big tournament, in the quarterfinals, in the last big tournament of the year. I mean, that means a lot.
Most of the important matches that they've played against each other, it's usually clawz that comes out on top though.
It's true.
I mean, almost all the time, he's able to deny Cooler progression in that tournament. This would be a big time to come at to put that run at a stop.
Not to give clawz like an excuse or anything like that, but he has started up university as well, which he didn't have to do before previously when playing in the last years. So that obviously has taken a giant toll on his amount of practice he can put into the game. Again, I don't want to give him like an excuse in this one, but that is something to keep in your mind. And Cooler going Anarchy.
Okay, double Anarchy. I'm liking this. I think clawz is probably slightly better known for the light champion plays, being very effective with them. He was incredibly... I know it was Latromi that played Anarchy on 2Z, usually in Sacrifice, but there was a lot of slash play. And I know that clawz experimented a lot with Anarchy during those stages, especially in the duel side of things. Cooler, it's a bit more unusual to see him play Anarchy, but he's still very, very good with it.
I can't remember the last time I saw Cooler play Anarchy, actually, so this would be a nice little treat if he does get to play him, if we get to that point, right?
Well, let's see, guys. We are starting here on map number 2, Corrupted Keep. And Cooler 1-0 up. We'll start with him on Eisen. He will be going against an Anarchy straight away. And clawz takes a small amount of damage, decides against moving directly in for that.
HMG going to be, actually, I think, a very important weapon in this matchup, as well as the LG. clawz looking to get away, use the injection, but doesn't have much overstack, if any at all anymore. And LG comes back in again. He knows Mega's going to be up and catch them with the machine gun at the end to finish off the frag, and that's going to be the Anarchy already gone out of the repertoire of clawz.
All right, goes over the shotgun. There's a good movement from Cooler to not commit to the angle, but he misses the shotgun blast. clawz is able to come back in this a little bit, but Cooler has his own Anarchy now. I think he's collected the rocket launcher. He's going to go straight through to put some pressure.
I think that rocket just barely knocked clawz away, so he couldn't get the juggle onto him. I mean, the shotgun, it does some damage from long range, but the nail does a little bit more, as you can see.
And now clawz is the one who's in the lead on the map. Let's see, LG pushes Cooler away. He had just picked up the heavy armor, and the lightning gun is just devastatingly powerful. However, he misses the orb, so he's not able to chase right into the frag. This could allow Cooler to collect a couple of bubbles, maybe even a light armor. Yeah, I think he just found one. And the Mega soon to spawn. clawz, I think, just checking that he was not picking up anything over at the boneyard.
Mega will be up here. I don't think he's going to get towards heavy in time. Gonna be able to restock up an LG ammo, which has been, I think, one of his biggest weapons when it's come to this matchup so far. 612 damage, by far the most damage.
Stray rocket, won't catch anything. clawz just getting those smaller items on the map, gets both of the light armors actually. An even kill with Cooler. Cooler's got to strategize a bit. He doesn't need to rush because we are going up to 5 minutes maximum per round. Unless obviously champions are tied. And that rotation has passed yet again. There's going to be a drop down from clawz. Moving over the LG. He's had good damage, but Cooler's defensive rockets have been another missed orb to try and cut off Cooler. Losing these opportunities a little bit, but he's so early with the damage on the lightning gun, so Cooler's always got to take a moment before he can retaliate.
And he has the exact timing on Mega where Cooler is just about guessing generally what time it's going to be up, so he does back off here towards heavy, which will allow clawz to get the stack back on.
Well, I think that the heavy control really favors Cooler because he's got 2 totems up at the moment, and he's just put down a third, so you can see that he's got overstack on both the health and the armor, and clawz looks like he was just pure guesswork on the heavy timing then.
Well, his totems won't be restacked up for quite a long time now, down to his last one. And this health will eventually fade off, and again, they're both going to have each other's, or well, their own respective items timed well. He actually spots him out here trying to go for the drop in behind with the LG. Cooler turns around and faces him for the damage. The orb is still there for clawz to use, but it doesn't matter. This Cooler does eliminate him, pick up Mega off the back of that, and he should be able to get heavy too. The respawn on clawz, he's rushing towards shotgun. He does pick it up. He does take the totem down. Luckily for him, he just forced Cooler away from this heavy armor.
A little bit of pressure over from the Mega side. Tri-bolt gets a splash. clawz pushing forward into center map. LG from Cooler has been amazing, to be honest. He's going for some tri-bolt. clawz is going to back away over to the nail gun room. Mega is soon going to spawn. I think he just heard him at the upper area. He has rocket to punish. clawz takes not a bad route, but there's a direct, there's the follow-up. It's going to be over at the totem, but somehow clawz is going to continue surviving. And he actually gets quite a lot, considering he's now got his totem back. He's got the heavy armor. Cooler might need a moment to get back in this.
He's going to have to look towards the light and red room. clawz not seeing him in that position. He's going to get some more rockets potentially, and maybe go for the challenge up towards the health bubbles. And Cooler does pick this one up, and I don't know, with down to 1 champion each, I wouldn't be surprised if this does go the full 5 minutes and does actually extend for quite a bit of time after.
Here's Mega. Small addition to the LG ammo pool. He's also got the overstacked totems at the same time, which clawz hasn't gotten rid of lately. I think clawz has got 2 totems of his own now.
It's not, I don't think it's that massive a deal at the moment because he is on heavy side and Cooler's on mega side. So even if he does get the overstack and he picks up mega, you're not really getting that much extra HP, but it's nice to have in fights to completely catch someone off guard. And that LG is looking pretty damn good out of Cooler.
His LG has been phenomenal, actually. In just a second, I'll give you guys some stats, but Cooler is hitting an insane amount. We'll move into round 2. I'll see if what we'll get off the beginning, if there's going to be an Anarchy yet again, but right now we've got 48% Lightning Gun from Cooler and 40 from clawz. I think I'd live to see the day where Cooler is out aiming with the LG against clawz.
Well, with this tournament, we've seen everything. We've seen so many crazy plays. That turret is just...
that was actually probably getting quite a bit of damage over there. He was trying to fight both angles. Maybe some of the damage occasionally transferred over to the turret, but he wanted to commit in that fight. We have an orb. I don't know if that was deliberate or not.
Cooler's that low?
Well, he's used the orb now. He's sure. Okay, he's got the heavy, which is definitely good. But Cooler's going to restack a bit. That rocket was tremendously close. We see it sailing into the skies. Lightning gun, man. This lightning gun is unbelievably good from Cooler. And he's going to find the kill. clawz can do nothing up there. And when Cooler comes to land, everything is turned up to 11.
Or 98 in his case sometimes. Or 99. Goes to the teleporter. Immediately behind him is going to be clawz. Injection is on cooldown. You can see his health just draining away, but he does pick up the heavy. You can see Cooler able to quickly turn tail and run to the mega pickup. Able to get rockets now, which he actually didn't have at all, considering he's able to get 2 frags just because the LG and the reliance of Cooler. He's still hitting some insane damage.
Against Anarchy as well, that crazy AD. And there's the turret doing a little bit of damage, knows that he's still floating around in that bone room. Gonna hear the skateboard of Anarchy shortly. This is really, really difficult for clawz. He hasn't got any control. If he can get onto like a heavy and get his full natural health up, sure, he can be good. His injection can also act as the mega health. But Cooler's got immense control.
But again, heavy will be, I think, the go-to pickup for clawz if he can get it. Especially with the way his health does drain on Energy. 3 points of health per second versus 1 for everyone else. Good rockets to keep Cooler at distance, but you can see clawz is just not able to get the stack on that he needs. He's not able to get damage down that really sticks against Cooler.
All those rockets from clawz. He's going to find one. Just goes through the teleporter. Heavy has been taken from clawz. Actually clutched out an incredibly good fight there. There could be a small turnaround. Mega health. This is the situation that Anarchy needed. He's going to barrel in. Does take some rocket damage, but he has a frag in the round.
So has to fight his way through Cooler's Anarchy now.
Who's got the better Anarchy?
I feel like he needs to pick up shotgun as well for clawz. And Anarchy, the way you can play him, he can get around so quickly, but so silently at the same time. The rockets are doing some decent work here, as well as the heavy not picked up. He tries to go for the shotgun, trying to get around back towards Mega since he has the timing on it. And he's able to get away and get back towards LG. I think Cooler only has rockets, but that rocket was good.
That was wild. That takes away almost all the benefits that clawz got in those last couple of moments. Stacks are very even. He just used the injection, but he gets the light armor right after. Is clawz going to get anything from it? They're going to meet over in the nail gun room. There's going to be LG out from clawz. Can he just pick up the fight in time? Cooler, he's looking for a rocket to land, and he's going to hit it. Cooler, he gets one more on the board.
He's almost going to be up 2-0 in the series.
Yeah. And we are... Actually, this is on the Cooler's map pick. So he's already won clawz's map pick. And if you can nail your own as well, I mean... Are we going... Is this the story that you expected?
Mostly, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because I just feel like clawz hasn't played well this entire tournament. I know he's been getting better as the tournament's gone on, but Cooler just... Something about PGL and something about here at Dreamhack, he's just been able to play on a whole nother level. He's, I guess, been able to play the Cooler that we've known over the years.
Right, obviously top 2 in the 2v2 tournament.
Yeah, lost to Raph. He actually beat Raph, if I'm not mistaken, in the beginning of the tournament, and then lost to him in the grand finals.
I mean, it's just been amazing from Cooler, and his preparation for events as well is, again, it's almost unparalleled.
Somehow,
we've obviously got Liquid and people like that in the discussion, right?
Somehow he steps up his preparation from playing 18 hours a day to 23 hours a day.
Yeah.
It's insane.
clawz finds a brilliant rocket. Actually, Cooler under pressure. We could see a return of this.
Wow.
Fantastic direct. clawz, it's It's not all over yet here on Corrupted Keep.
He's got to protect LG, I feel like, with what Cooler's been hitting with this weapon.
True.
If you keep this out of his hands, like Cooler did against clawz and Runes of Sarnath, we could be looking at a strong start here, and a strong comeback potentially for clawz.
Accuracies on the lightning gun have kind of come closer together. 39 for clawz, 41 for Cooler. I feel like maybe a bit of spam's come out there. His kind of direct hitting, though, has still been incredibly consistent. Here's a meeting over at the rocket spawn.
Oh, big block.
Down. That was huge. Another rocket from Cooler. Oh, he almost bites the dust from that last shot.
Catches him at the double 50s, but he's on the low ground, and we know how that worked out for Anakin Skywalker. As we see the LG, though, as clawz fights his way back up. Gets the Meg off of the back of this, and now with 2 frags under his belt, he's only up against the Anarchy out of Cooler.
Cooler does have a heavy to work with straight away. He's also used the injection. He's got rockets to go. I think he might want to attack soon, especially if he can get an initial shot.
He's protecting LG still. I mean, just look at his positioning. He's trying to maintain this this weapon on his own side. He's trying to bait him in, I think, towards LG. I think there's a chance he could push in on this. But unfortunately, that rocket coming through has kind of cut off the angle clawz did want to go back in with.
Big clawz respecting straight away. Lightning gun comes incredibly close. Heavy up in 1 second. Cooler finds some health bubbles. clawz yet to get some armor, but surely there'll be some spawning soon of the lights. So Cooler can still make an upset on this round. He's trying to chase him down. It doesn't punish too much, but it's not too bad. Here's the rush in from Cooler. He hits the totem, but it doesn't matter. He gets a brilliant burst and finishes the job with lightning gun.
But he knows the injection's down. He knows he has a window to play with here, especially for Cooler to restack and be strong enough to fight. The downside is that clawz doesn't have much weapons except the shotgun. Sometimes that's all you need is able to spot him out. And even with the nail gun, able to get a quick 60 and the shotgun only for 10. That's so unfortunate, but there it is, clawz. Finally, after 3 rounds, able to get a round on the board here on Corrupted Keep.
Okay, Cooler denied the 3-0 here. It did feel like we were going in that direction. Cooler was looking so dominant at the start, especially when we saw those LG fights. It feels like clawz is trying to pick fewer of those fights now, realizing that actually that aim he's been going up against is maybe stronger than anticipated. So I like to see that small adaptation from clawz.
Well, speaking of taking LG fights, he just got destroyed by everything there.
That turret assistance, it's not the first time that that's happened. This time the turret has the last word. So we've got a dire roll that comes in, doesn't really hit the mark, and an awesome rocket shot from Cooler. Can he punish this last moment? Lightning gun in. 1 more kill for Cooler, and we have got major items.
The totem again. It gives them the information on the spawn.
That is insane information. He sees now that the injection's been used, but knows that he can have the heavy, so he still has the wind in his sails. See if he can push in and lock down Corrupted Keep.
LG catch again. clawz has to turn tail and run as fast as he possibly can, but Cooler again. 3-1 this time. Able to take map 2, and he's now 1 map away from getting through the semifinals and, more importantly, beating clawz.
This has been impressive from Cooler. The Runes of Sarnath, that was really back and forth actually. It was super hard to call who was going to win that because we did get down to a tie-breaking round. But here on Corrupted Keep, Cooler's map pick actually felt a lot more secure than I felt. Yeah. Corrupted Keep used to be a map that clawz was almost unbeatable on. But Cooler has some magic there.
I feel like just Cooler's been very smart about how he's been playing this. Again, denying a lot of weapons away from clawz. A lot of his key weapons, the rock or the rail and the LG. We saw clawz probably start to wise up to it by trying to do the same thing back to him. But it wasn't the most ideal champion and the most ideal map to do it, considering you're Galena, you're on Mega side already. You're not really getting much benefit from being there other than guarding the LG, which Cooler can potentially stack up, pick up heavy, and then attack you with. So a little unfortunate, but also a little bit surprised not to see like a little bit more tribal come out out of either player when we did see them go towards LG. That's probably one of the least amount of tribals rounds or maps that I've ever seen.
You know, other players we've seen far more of that. I think Tox, to me, has been one of the most the one who uses tribal the most effectively, generally.
I mean, he's also one of the 2, I think one of the 2 players, him and Zron, that use the right weapons at the right time almost every time, just to, even if it's just 1 point of extra damage, they'll do it.
No, exactly. Jason, we are heading now into Molten Falls. Cooler, he's having a good time, or clawz has just told him a joke, I'm not sure.
Well, no one said anything in chat, so I think Cooler's just having a good time.
Okay. Well, let's see. I'm ready if you are. We got the champion picks now. We are going to have Ranger Galena. We're going to have Nyx combined. I do personally like seeing Athena on this. I'm not sure, though, if these guys are going to be necessarily up for that just yet. Seems like Eisen will be the 3rd
Very quick picks too. It's not like they were responding to each other. It's like, yeah, I already know what I want to play.
No, there was very little thinking required. They knew ahead of time. And again, they kind of know each other. As the meta evolves through each patch and within the patches, you know, multiple times, I feel like these guys, they know what they want to do to each other. Well, we are here on multiples, getting ready for this map. If Cooler wins it, he is going to be going through to the semi-final where he'll face up against clawz. clawz has got a lot of work to do. Let's see if he can get himself into the arena and into a positive score, actually.
Cooler off the bat as well, orbing over towards the rail, leaving Mega up for quite a long time. I feel like that's an advantage for you now. If you can use that, somehow get clawz to go in that direction, you know the timing on it, you could force a fight, maybe force out the ghost walk more importantly, or maybe catch him right here. That's a great ghost walk as well. The timing was perfect. He doesn't get LG quite just yet though, Cooler. But this is already a strong start.
I think he's going to guess as well that the Heavy's picked up earlier than the Mega Health, so it's fantastic for him to be able to challenge right away. There should be a rail coming in. There it is, right on cue. Obviously, clawz isn't going to miss a shot like that. He hits another that almost sent him off the map. There's going to be, again, the pressure is unbelievable. Good dodge from Cooler on this occasion. He'll have a light to fall back on, but despite having the better control, clawz has been really, really good on the aim. LG versus LG. I kind of like the rockets that clawz was working with at the beginning, but he didn't want to follow with it.
clawz comes back in though for the refrag, and he should be able to do it. The problem is he took a hell of a lot of damage for that one. Heavy will be up right now, which he will be able to secure, so he's able to get his stack back up. Cooler's already looking for, it looks like a refight off this. That's going to be a rail coming through. He's not going to be railable anymore, but the LG, actually the rockets out of clawz are hitting relatively nicely, but clawz jumps directly into that. Catches it perfectly with his face.
I mean, I'm not even sure if Cooler expected him to go for the health bubbles, because that's crazy to go back into the fight on such low health, but you know, still a good read. He's going to find him on the exit. One good rocket. Looking for the fall. Not going to find it. That long distance. Oh, the orb comes in. There's the shove. 20 health to go. 225 here on Rafa's edge. Never forget.
I feel like, if anything, clawz should be used to the style that Cooler's playing, because Razy does almost the same thing on this map. He likes to bait in these traps, you know, wait around a corner, hit him with a big rocket, and then try to go for the finish off of that. So it's not anything new that clawz hasn't gone up against before, but it's just more about if he can recognize that style and counter it somehow.
Solid rail there from clawz. Retaliation is brilliant. Getting the smallest angles. That's all the information he needs on whether or not he is going to push the fire button. Small tickle on the side. Here comes the Mega Health.
I almost want to see...
Oh, wow.
Hold on a second. You see the orb coming. clawz again trying to dodge the turret and Aizen. He does get the frag and does get the round. But I was going to say, I almost want to see clawz slow the pace down himself. You know, I almost want to see him just slow down the game, force Cooler to be a little bit more proactive in the way that he has to play. Because right now, it's Cooler just waiting for clawz to make a mistake. Maybe turn the tides, maybe, you know, turn the pacing on its head, and then maybe Cooler get a little bit frustrated, and you can use that to your advantage.
Well, for the control that clawz had there, he managed to capitalize. Let's see how he's going to follow up, especially if Cooler is able to gain control himself. Immediately a push, actually. The great rail. He's going to go for another one into the ghost walk. But Cooler backs away, and clawz is not going to be granted another angle straight away. But I think Cooler's happy to fight. He's got a decent amount of armor. He's close to the full natural. Oh, whoa.
That was a nice shot.
There's the Mega Health. 10 seconds until the Heavy. And Cooler surely will be chasing through. He goes via Tribolt on the upper. He hears him walking around, goes with the lightning gun. It's a brilliant weapon choice from Cooler. Back through the teleporter via Tribolt, and he might actually rendezvous clawz over at the Heavy. clawz is going to be careful. He's going to bump his head a little bit. And even the orb, defensively, just in case Cooler was going to push that corner.
Yeah, agreed. He noticed, by the way, clawz has been using Nyx first whenever he does actually have her in his lineup. I think that's just due to the fact that, well, Nyx starting means you're guaranteed one major item, Mega or Heavy, and she needs one of those to be able to even combat anyone in the game, especially when you're equal skilled. So that's where I kind of see him stuck onto that champion. That's a great little rail coming through to finish up the frag against Cooler, and more importantly, get the armor on top of that.
Did you notice that Cooler actually damaged himself with the rocket?
No, I didn't see that.
He orbed on. It's kind of like the type of rocket jump I've been.
Because they go the same speed now, right?
They're at very similar speeds, but he teleported through to the orb and just got bumped back a little bit into the line of sight of clawz. one shot. Tri-Bolt hurt him quite a lot. He's got to be very, very careful now to go for the damage, despite the champions being tied up. Cooler looks like he is going to have the next thing to say. We have an orb coming close, but the lightning gun again from Cooler is devastating as he looks to come back in this map and take his own round to tie it up.
It's getting back up to 2-1. Might be able to catch him on Mega here. And you see clawz just trying to go for the rail damage. Try to punish Cooler for picking up that item and try to minimize that stack. And Cooler's able to get off of that. But again, weapons, he's guarding LG. clawz gonna walk straight into this, and
wow.
This is like literally what Cooler's been doing ever since Runes of Sarnath, is guard these weapons that he knows clawz wants, bait him into a trap, and pick up a frag. It's rinse and repeat, and somehow clawz has to wise up to it. He has to figure out a way to stop this.
The temptation for LG for him is just too much.
Yeah.
It's too
It's like
powerful.
you and seeing, socks. He hasn't been looking at Zeus.
It's even worse. It's even worse than that. It's incredible. But that's the thing. We see a lot of players where we can see them for 2-3 minutes at a time play without rockets or rail. Again, he's heading right over there. Orb comes in. clawz. He doesn't even go for a ghost walk or anything, and he is nowhere near doing enough damage to take down Cooler.
Well, another time in this one, catch him on the rail again. Just rotates over towards the other weapon that he does clawz once. clawz is really on the back foot here. Gonna go through the teleporter. Ooh. That shot, that was actually like, you saw him tracking as well, which was really awesome about it. Knowing the pacing that he's coming through that teleporter and how quickly he's gonna get to the other side of that that little wall.
I was seriously close. And you can know the pattern of the jumps as well. Where might his head just slightly peek from that?
Again, camping LG. Is it just denying him this weaponry? And at the same time, like, clawz could use this to start taking major items and, go to rocket, get rail. He knows Cooler is just constantly camping the LG against him, so it gives him some sort of map control.
And in those moments, he's also switching away from the lightning gun or the rail because those weapons have a small little hum. So clawz might be able to hear it on his way up. So kind of make sure that he's not making a noise at all.
I think
and then he
Cooler
can go
heard
for that quick
that.
switch.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
I want to say Cooler had to have heard that.
Well, he's checking over that kind of area, but...
So smart. So, okay. Oh, so if you walk downstairs in Quake, you actually make sounds. So he's trying to go down the ramp part of it. And that's actually a great timing on where that rocket's going to go. The double orb switch coming through out of both players.
Oh, what a vertical rail from clawz. He's going to have something left to say in this round. We are 2 champions left for each. clawz will acquire the heavy armor. He's got a whole bunch of weaponry, so no lightning gun traps can be made. And major items are going to be up pretty much the same time.
It does seem like when Cooler gets the first frag of the round, he's able to just maintain that control and keep that kind of lead. But the second that clawz does get the weaponry, as you see now, like you mentioned, he's got the unholy trinity of weaponry. That's when it becomes really difficult for Cooler to fight back. He has to depend on that LG, which has been hitting some insane accuracy for Cooler's sake.
clawz going to have some presence over at the heavy. It's not actually, no, Cooler doesn't go for it at all. He keeps his side. Doesn't want to get some extra armor for now. And fairly slow, but he does jump across. clawz missing the follow-up rail. Bounce pad is going to get used by Cooler. clawz, I think, slightly misread the direction in which he was going, but still seems to have a good read on his play.
I think Cooler just broke a pot, so clawz was actually able to hear him over towards Boneyard. He's actually commits to it here as well. He's doing some really good damage, but that's going to be a return from Cooler.
Wow.
Fadeaway rocket coming in.
There's some ridiculous clutch rockets from Cooler because I thought that was an excellent attack from clawz. Not able to get the clean kill, but clawz is now going to have Galena. Cooler's going to be on Aizen. Major items have just been taken. Both players looking pretty stacked. However, I believe Cooler will not have the LG yet.
Pretty important. If you saw clawz on the respawn, he went straight back towards his LG that he just lost on the frag between both players to make sure he can get that weapon so Cooler can't lock him out of this position. And maybe clawz can go the same kind of route. Maybe, the thing is, we haven't seen clawz try to set up any sort of traps yet against Cooler. It's mostly been the other way around. He's the one that's been hunted. He's been the prey.
He's been roaming a lot, and I think Cooler's been waiting for those rotations around the map.
That's what clawz did to Razy, too. Yeah. He was not afraid to do that. I feel like Cooler, though, is just punishing clawz a lot more for this freedom of movement that he has.
Well, if Cooler's able to take this, he puts himself on match point. clawz cannot allow the pressure to pile up that much. It's got Cooler walking over by Banana. I wonder if he had ears on that. It sounds like maybe he would have heard a sound cue. He's going to fade away towards the Mega Health. clawz should have the Mega timing figured out pretty much. I think he would have heard the jumping from Cooler up below. Let's see.
He's locked here without making, or he's going to have to make noise eventually, whether he walks or runs. Trying to reposition himself towards heavy, maybe catch Cooler on the drop. He has an inkling that he's going to be there here and does get the initial LG damage.
Turret's good, it's a bit of a distraction. Wow, he suddenly hits a huge amount of damage to that rocket. He's put him down to 13 health. That turret is looking dangerous, and clawz is not able to escape from that. Cooler is on match point. This is not the type of domination I was expecting at all. These guys usually, they fight so close to one another. I think the only time this only reminds me of the first day of ESWC, but this was before a knockout stage. Usually at this point of the tournament is where clawz is rising in level and ability.
This is going to be a big fight here. Nailgun comes in yet again. Ghost Walk this time being used right away. He's going to miss the jump, though. Unlikely he doesn't get punished for this.
Could be a rail shot in a second. Cooler, he's going to land it. There's no Ghost Walk, but he can't hit the follow-up. And now he is vulnerable as well. He'll fade away back over to the heavy side of the map. Mega Health will shorten spawn. He's actually going there? This is unreal. Oh wow, Cooler's so low. I don't know if clawz realized how weak he had just gotten him. And those health bubbles over at rail probably have respawned by now.
Nice little shot coming in yet again here. Cooler is fraggable here for clawz. He's not going for the chase though, as you can see. He's gonna try to catch him. Or he's going for the hourglasses potentially, or maybe trying to spot out Cooler just camping and waiting. And lurking. He's got the Ghost Walk back up.
Whoa.
But who knows for how much longer. As you can see, these rails are hitting Cooler. To go for that angle of a shot shows so much confidence out of him.
That is gutsy. And just the possible read that clawz could be looking over there too. Unbelievable stuff from Cooler. And again, just a update on the aim. It is clawz just barely out LG and Cooler at the moment, but Cooler's done about 500 more damage.
But rail though, it's 40% to 29% in favor of clawz.
True.
So heavily winning out in that battle.
Damage in total is incredibly even though. I gotta say, control of the items, it's a lot more for Cooler, but you'd expect that with someone who's in the lead in the map.
Heavy's up, clawz trying to spot out where Cooler's gonna be. That's gonna be a good rail to start things off with. Heavy will be picked up, and clawz luckily doesn't eat that second shot. But can he get to Mega in time?
Wow. So punishing as well. Just as clawz is looking to secure a really solid amount of control, he's just not able to.
The thing is, I feel like if Cooler misses that shot, that he can't afford to go for Mega anymore. He has to like give that one up, unless he wants to have a potential death.
Yeah, it would involve a fight and probably him looking over the ledge, and obviously the person above are usually going to have an advantage in that position. However, we have got a fight over by shotgun. clawz does get a rail, but Cooler with the clutch shot himself. That secures him the heavy armor. Is he going to look at aggressing over towards the Mega Health? It's up shortly. There is the orb that comes out in time. I think Cooler just went down below. He will not push any further.
I think clawz did die again with Ghost Walk up, which is really unfortunate. And to be fair, if we look at most Nyx players, he's probably the one that dies the most with it being up, because I think I actually asked him once. He said that he has confidence that the other player won't hit that shot. Which, I mean, you can always look at from two different avenues. And he's going to catch him on the jump pad, but Cooler comes in with the die orb, and now Kzoot, he's one more frag away from getting through here to the semifinals.
Brutal amount of damage. He's even able to follow up with further control, but that's an important rail from clawz. He's put the totem down to try and slow Cooler's push. And Cooler, I think, is going to give the respect for a moment. He can smell victory potentially, as there's only a minute and 45. LG on LG. Cooler's low, and clawz is going to be able to retaliate. Still, he's got to take down at least another champion to tie up this round situation. Cooler will get it onto Mega Health. He'll put a totem down in the corner. With his light, does it spawn shortly? We're about to find out. Oh, that rocket can't get the follow-up, but he doesn't take too much damage himself, so could be a lot worse.
This is such a rough game for clawz, even if he does take this round, because he's still going to be down 2-0 in maps. And Cooler will still have the opportunity to close this series out just in one more round. This is going to be such an uphill battle. clawz can somehow pull this off. The rails are landing. He is getting the damage in, but he needs to get frags. He's got a minute left to get one more to just equalize things.
He's that light. Sees that his totem's still there. There's going to be a push. I think Cooler wants to get around the corner. Fortunately for him, clawz misses that shot. clawz, I think, just saw the totem, so he'll eliminate it from the map, prevent Cooler from getting overstack.
I just saw it still alive.
No, I think the second rocket did hit it, as far as I'm aware.
Spots him out here.
Cooler, he's defending from down below over the heavy machine gun spawn. Again, clawz is hitting these crucial rails, but we're really very much thinking about the clock now, Jason. He's just behind the teleporter.
Oh no, this is going to take a lot of time away from him. Yes, he has the stack, but the stack doesn't matter if you can't find the player you need to frag here. 20 seconds left to go. Cooler is still playing calm and passive.
Don't tell me he's going to stay there. Don't tell me. Is he going to cheese this one out? clawz is getting rid of all the totems. If he goes up by rockets, he's probably going to just catch wind of him. I think he spotted him. He knows he's there. And he gets the rail! You've been found, Cooler. He's trying to hold that for about 30 seconds of time. clawz is going to be able to sustain full control. Small LG push. Is clawz going to go direct now? It looks like he's still got his eyes on control. Cooler still, he's ramping up onto it. He is eyes and he just put his turret down. Overstack is still looking decent. He's going on LG versus LG. Who can win it? It looked like Cooler got the better end of that.
I almost want to say clawz might have misjudged the damage he did because of the turret absorbing that. And with him being right above it, he didn't see exactly who he did hit, but he might get caught here by a rail. Cooler is going to land. He's down to 68 HP. He's going to not be railable anymore as he does catch on a Cooler with that rocket, but he needs his heavy. He's got the armor and he escapes without getting hit by another rail. This is perfect for clawz.
Don't think he saw him go towards the Mega. He's probably going to hear him now. Rail shot lands. I thought he was going to be going out of the map just then. There might be a light armor above the bounce pad. We'll see there below the character portrait. That indeed there was. In 10 seconds, we'll have heavy again. That's going to be the hot spot on the map. It's just spotted where he's coming from. It looks like Cooler's not challenging right away, knowing that he really needs to hold all of the stack that he has. He might even just not do anything here in order to challenge over to the next Mega, or at least fire off a rail or something along those lines.
Oh, there's the rail. The totem not going to go down to where he wanted it. Going to catch Cooler with 100 damage. Eliminating that completely. The LG comes out as well. The turret looking to help out, and the turret's hitting the stairs. If anything, clawz will stay alive again. 2-2 here on Molten Falls.
Cooler. Right.
If he just went through that teleporter, he would have...
If just went through a teleporter or knew the clawz was hunting him down from that rocket angle, or didn't go. That was so passive.
Yeah. Actually, I wonder if he even had a totem there. Because maybe he didn't put it down to not give away his position. Because, I mean, if he did obviously heal himself, he would have been railable.
I mean, yeah, he had 90 or less, didn't he? So, well, Cooler. He's a professional. He is a top player. He shouldn't get distracted.
He's camping the LG another time. He hears him with the jump pad. Realizes he can pick it up without being spotted or heard, more importantly.
How many times has this worked as well? Is clawz
too many
go into it again? He's been very stubborn about it. Now he knows that the major items are going to come back up. He needs to see if he's going to challenge. Spots him. But there's a good... Oh my god, Rocket Rail is fantastic from clawz. Can he hang around? There is an orb out. He's going to go through, cut him off over, and get the Mega health. That's a brilliant play from Cooler.
Oh, wow. He's going to chase this too. Of course, that Ghost Walk has a major advantage in the next fight. Trying to block off towards the health globes. Ghost Walk has been used. And he does hear him over towards Rail. He's got to be so careful. clawz, he needs to escape this somehow. He doesn't have the damage just yet. 100 HP left. 60 health. Can he hit one more shot? The Rail's just barely going to miss.
Seriously close. 5 seconds now until that heavy armor spawns. Looks like clawz just going to hold steady. So spawn. I need that stack. There's the LG pressure. He hits the rocket, but clawz still takes him down. He denies that item away. He knows that the Mega's coming up soon, but he can't do much about it.
Expecting clawz to go through that teleporter with some good speed. It's a big enough window between the two items for this to be a real focal point of our next fight. Gonna pick up that LG really quickly as well, and clawz back to the position he was at before. It already catches him, so good information given.
There's the Mega in a moment. Cooler bravely fought for it before. Annoying for him that he sees the light armor straight after. clawz obviously can't deny that while he's overstacked on Banana. Spam rocket out. Cooler knows the information. It's a fantastic rail again. Cooler with limited resources now around him. What has he got to say about this heavy armor? Does he respect or does he play for the follow-up major item? It's like he will be respecting. Oh, that lightning gun. That was really nice from Cooler.
Oh my god.
This is such sick shots from clawz. His reactions, his flicks. unbeatable, really.
You know, some people talk about some guys one taps. We talk about clawz's flicks.
Indeed. I think Cooler wants to still turtle this one out a little bit. He just can't get himself onto armor. Very one-dimensional stack at the moment. He finds one over by Rapha's edge. I will never get tired of saying that, by the way.
Or a fedge. Can we just shorten it?
Fedge. Sounds odd. He's re-peeking just so he can try and get himself onto the Mega Help. There is a light armor over there. Just narrowly missing that shot. And held back over by Rail. And Cooler looks like he wants to hold position up there, mid-air, almost landing. Finding through a teleport, I've got to be careful of the telefrag. Hits a direct rocket, but Cooler's defense is not bad. Last rocket misses, but clawz is one frag away now from getting a map on the board.
He's gonna have heavy, should be to get towards Mega 2. Cooler is gonna have LG, but that's really the only weapon he's gonna have for this fight. Rail's gonna land again, almost knocks him off the map. It seems as the jump did come in, but Cooler will be able to pick up that extra HP, and clawz immediately goes back towards LG to stop him. Or at least force the fight, even towards Rail now. He's gonna be able to pick up the Rail, yes, but the HP is just drained away. Is there a world where clawz could come back from this, from almost losing, from Cooler stalling out in time?
That Rail would have been it just then. We saw a brilliant shot return. Oh my god, Cooler hits another. He's still available, I think, so it's insane that he's challenging. He's on 75 health. He gets the heavy armor. If clawz picks up the Mega, he doesn't get a lot from it.
Don't die to this! Don't die to this!
Cooler's there as well. He's gonna get taken down. Too dramatic for me, Jason. We got a minute left. We got tied up champion score. If Cooler gets the next frag, Jason, he is going through. But clawz can get that map pick. Has he been detected?
Throws a tone down directly on top of him. The nail gun's doing some good work here. You can see Cooler's very low on HP. He's trying to spam this nail gun just to keep his distance. The Rail's gonna miss as well, and it looks like Cooler and clawz both will live to fight another day.
I think Cooler respected on heavy, actually. It went over for the Mega. Yeah, he went over for the Mega Health in the end. clawz just saw it. He's almost doing a double take on it. It's like, are you sure? Is this a trap? But he hears the bounce pad and knows it's safely acquired.
He's gonna back off, pick up LG. Almost guaranteed to hit sudden death here. And we're about to call that clawz edge with what happened just previously. LG comes out, does some good damage. The Rail's gonna miss though, but he's gonna be able to back off towards his totem. Stacks relatively equal here between the two players. But I imagine it's gonna be a slowdown in pace yet again here. Go back for your major items and look for your next fight.
They're still pretty much in sync with one another.
I wonder if clawz will potentially just hold this side of the map with heavy, keep putting totems down to get a triple stack, if he possibly could, have a mega and a heavy stack, and then force a fight off of that, but I don't know, with the way he's playing out, does it seem like that's the thought process he's going for?
He very often enjoys having that combat totem, I think. He likes that damage block.
Just like Rafa.
Yeah. You know, you can absolutely play it both ways and, you know, be flexible with that. But clawz doesn't like getting caught out with Galena when he doesn't have that totem available. So when you use it, you still need to be getting those hourglasses and. You know,
well, he does have, I think, access to about 5, if not 7, I think, on that side of the map. You got 3 here.
I think there's 2 by
2 over towards LG, yeah, and then 2 at LG.
Yeah. We are in sudden death though here on what could be an incredibly decisive map. They might run into each other in a second. Spotted LG carrying clawz through the air. We've got the heavy in a second. He's not going to bet himself over there straight away. Rocket jump up via shotgun to see if he can cut him off and get the full control now. There is LG at the bottom, and that is a huge rail from Cooler.
Great movement too. That rocket jump was perfect to catch him on that. So it does minimize the stack. He does have the stack advantage. I guess he might go for the chase here. clawz has to hit some really good shots and some defensive rockets to keep Cooler away, but instead, both just gonna back off. Rail's gonna miss. clawz now knows exactly where Cooler's gonna be. And will we see the fight break down? Will we see the end of this match happen right here, right now?
Here comes the heavy. Toto above. Oh, the Rail's huge. He's got a follow-up for it. Amazing shot from clawz, but he drops. Cooler can't land it. And he's gonna be fading away up that bounce pad. Cooler's going to make himself not railable straight away, but there is pressure from clawz. LG on LG. Stacks are fairly similar when you add the armor and the health together, but that is a huge rail from Cooler.
The mind game's happening right there. Who's going to spot him over towards Banana, over towards Boneyard, goes to the teleporter, hoping clawz does follow him, but there's no way clawz has a stack to go for this. Heavy up in 3, clawz maybe try to get some damage in. No, just picks up the LG, backs off, and trying to set up for Mega, which is going to be still difficult because Cooler has a stack to force out a fight.
Oh my god, he hits those every time! Wow. It's 2 in a row, Jason. It's giving me a heart attack at the moment.
But neither of them really have any overstack. I mean, considering how this has gone, considering Cooler's able to hit the double rail, they're both close on stack. It's just going to come down to one more little Ike Warmer pickup here out of clawz. 2 minutes and 30 seconds in. Another rail going to land, and clawz is really feeling the pain out of Cooler. This is what we saw with Cooler versus Dehang yesterday. Cooler was hitting so many insane rails. He's bringing it into this match, and he's going to go for the chase and the catch, and Cooler will make it through to the semifinal, taking down one of his rivals of clawz.
Amazing play from Cooler. I can't believe the amount of clutch rails this guy is landing. He's always pressuring on those items. It's just absolutely insane. Being able to go head-to-head with clawz on the aim here on LAN and managing to finally, I think, overcome clawz in such a crucial tournament situation in the elimination match.
Yeah, and I think we're seeing the work that Cooler's been putting in over, I want to say, the last 6 months, the hours he's been able to log, the streaming he does, the amount of time he puts in practice, whether it's doing twos with talks or his own personal practice, has paid dividends here. He got second at PGL, and he sure as hell know he's not going to accept a second place in here. He wants that first place, and probably wants that redemption versus Rafa.
Well, before there's someone called Avec that'll be waiting for him in not too long today, and that is surely going to be an insane game. But Jason, it's been a pleasure here.
It's been good.
In this final quarterfinal. Guys, we're going to pass it back over to Jahar and the boys to break that one down for us.
Thank you very much, Zoot, and I think we could imagine clawz saying a lot of choice words, cursing up a storm. I think Cooler gave him turret syndrome.
Well, yeah. I think Cooler did what he needed to win. We talked about it beforehand, about playing within himself. I thought he made a nice adjustment early on. Nyx was causing him some problems on Sarnath, and I think he started to let clawz kind of come to him a little bit, set those ambushes, knowing that clawz wants to run around, be aggressive, and try to, you know, put the pressure on him. And he just played brilliantly. And of course, look at those rails he was landing at the end too. So on top of his mechanics, he had the brain going for himself, and what a great win.
Yeah, and I think that clawz he put himself out there a bit too much, because even like he pushes in and he's got that amazing aim and he will hit an incredible flick shot, but then Cooler is just like, oh, okay, well, you hit that shot, now you're down for a second, I'm just gonna push you with LG and finish you off when you've got nowhere to run. And clawz just put himself in bad positions way too often.
And there were also some situations where, you know, he had the Nyx ghost walk up, but you know, he has a tendency to try to save this for offensive positions, and it ended up punishing him. Cooler would get the frag, and ghost walk was still up. So there were other situations too where clawz would be low, he'd be in rail range, and he'd decide to do that peek again, even though he was in danger, and Cooler was just ready for him.
Yeah, absolutely. clawz just really didn't have an answer in many situations, and look at this frag. This was lovely. Oh, there we go. Good attempt at hiding, but didn't quite work.
Well, as we come back in, we're going to be saying hello to Cooler and congratulations. How do you feel about that moment, somehow getting to the #1 replay spot? You behind that teleporter.
Unlucky?
Were you alt-tabbed away from the game at that point? Were you checking Discord or Twitter?
Yeah, I was calling mom.
He was tweeting about his current victory about the cup.
Well, in all seriousness, congratulations. After PGL, what was your main kind of takeaway there? How did things change for you between PGL and here?
In overall, like, I switched my focus to 2v2s actually, and yeah, I can't remember how should I play after PGL, but the main focus here is just getting my shape back to like PGL level, let's say, and it looks like I'm on my way.
Yeah. I gotta say, yeah, your mechanics look on. It looks like your preparation has really paid a lot of dividends for you. You've always been an intelligent player, and I just gotta ask, you know, it seemed like clawz was causing a little problems early on in Sarnath. Were there some adjustments maybe you made? It seemed like you started to let him come to you a little more and really started to set some ambushes and were punishing him a bit. Can you talk to us a little bit about how you were thinking in game and maybe some minor adjustments you made?
Well, I didn't have any warm-up today, actually. And, like, I was just warming.
Okay.
Couple of minutes, like, trying to get myself into the game. Like, trying to get my focus back, trying to get my aim, like game sense, moving, and stuff like that.
Well, it seemed to work out. Your game sense was red hot at the end.
Oh, yeah. I've got a question about champion bans. The #1 champion that gets banned with clawz is really his Nyx, because he plays it so well and he plays it so often. But you decided not to go with the Nyx ban. Do you feel like you've got a good answer to clawz's Nyx play, or you just think she's not as effective anymore?
If you say that, then I should say nobody knows about patch, new patch, which made a big difference between current Nyx and the previous one.
Yeah.
And this is my answer, like, Nyx is not overpowered anymore. I mean, it's just a standard champion who you can deal against.
Okay.
Like, no problem.
Yeah, you were really good about recognizing Ghostwalk was down and you come right back at him, be aggressive, or even ambush around the hourglasses. There's a lot of brilliant play.
Yeah, still, like, stack advantage. And, yeah, like, if you can get her out of the invis, you can easily push just by stack advantage, actually.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's what I was doing, actually.
Yeah, it was working out great for you. Great stuff.
It's a really good thing you're warmed up. I mean, now it's time to take a small break before semifinals. Avik is going to be our opponent, of course, who says that he hasn't been practicing for duel at all, or rather that he has been practicing for duel. 2v2 was just a warm up. Now you're saying that that you've been more focused on 2v2. How do you think that's going to play out?
Well, first of all, I should say, like, this is what make us professionals. We can get into the shape pretty fast, I guess. We just need to play a couple of games. And yeah, I guess Avik had a lot of matches to gain his shape back, and me as well, I guess. So it's gonna be a super interesting match. I haven't been playing him since I can't remember.
It's been a
to
while.
be honest.
It has been a while.
Maybe some online cup or stuff like that. But yeah, I think he's like in really good shape now. He's like focused. His aim on fire.
Yeah.
So I have to deal with it.
Well, now that you've
somehow.
used now that you've used clawz as warm up, good luck to you.
Thank you.
So we're going to be bringing you more matches here at DreamHack in just a moment, as DreamHack itself, along with Monster and Corsair, allowing us to have all these awesome times with Quake champions. We'll catch you for the first semifinal in just a minute.